Hey, Mom, let's
Hey,
do
Kate.
chapter 8.
Woohoo.
Woo! Okay, so this first question, I want to just give a little bit of back, or this chapter, I talk a lot about like the struggles in school. One being when teachers would ask, hey, let's all go, not ask, they would just say, they didn't ask, they just
Yeah.
said, hey, we're all going to read a paragraph and we're going to go around the room and everyone's going to read. That is the worst thing in the world for me. I would physically get sick. Not physically, I never like did it, but like I just would be sweating and shaking and feeling crappy. And go read the book. I share all about it. But that's what this first question is referring to.
Yep.
And I just wanted to give a little backstory. So,
Okay.
also, if you're just diving in here to this episode and it's the first one you've ever seen, real quick, I'm Katey. This is my mom, Lynn. We wrote a book together. Yay, us. So, you can find the information about that below. This episode and other episodes like it are all extra questions that my mom and I are asking each other and answering that dive deeper into each and every chapter. So this is free content. It's amazing. But not only is it free here on YouTube, it's also free over on my podcast, the Different Ability Podcast. And we ask totally different questions over there. A little bit
Right.
longer episodes, and we definitely go rogue more over there. Just putting that out there. I mean, we're only chapter 8 here, so let's see. We have 20 more chapters to go. So we
Yes.
definitely could get rogue over here as well. But that's what I wanted to let you guys know. So you're not like, what is this weird episode that we're just coming into? We are diving into the book that I wrote slash my mom co-authored 3 chapters called Embracing Your Different Ability. And here we go. So let's do chapter 8. I kind of already did say what was going to be happening in this episode of what we talked about. So let's dive into teachers making us read out loud in class.
Yeah. So, Katie, in what ways do you think schools could improve on how they approach reading aloud for students who experience anxiety or have learning differences?
Okay, this is a super simple one. Don't. Don't make people do it. How about that? How about you ask nicely? Like when we all were taught when we were kids, ask people, ask questions. Don't just demand things. I'm getting real feisty over here.
Yes, you are.
How about don't? Seriously, that's my answer. This is gonna be the simplest one to do. Don't
Okay.
expect people to read aloud in class because you have no idea whether they have a learning difference, a learning disability, whether they just have straight up anxiety about reading in front of people like you, Mom. You talk about it in the
Right.
like in other episodes and in the book. The answer is how can schools improve? They just don't do that anymore. That's
Okay.
a good idea. Okay,
All right. I think that's a perfect answer.
real quick, let me elaborate. The reason I'm saying don't, and I know we're being funny about it, but I'm not, is because I talk about this in the book. Because I had such anxiety about it, because I now know I'm dyslexic, and it does not come easy to me to read, period, but then to read out loud, I didn't listen to anything else that was
Right.
going on in that chapter or in that book because all I focused on was that single paragraph. And let me tell you, the amount of people that said the same thing to me, that have said that I've heard on podcasts, that I've heard on YouTube, that I've heard just in the wild, they did the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a disservice to the student. If you want them to learn about the book, don't have them read out loud. If you want to read out loud in class, pull the audiobook.
Yeah.
Have the students listen. If there are people that like to read it themselves because they digest it better, like you, Mom,
Yeah.
let them read it themselves. There's different ways to do this than having everyone sit there and read the book out loud.
Yeah.
It is a huge disservice. So there's my little bit of a disclaimer.
All right. Gotcha. Well, we shall move on. You had an IEP, Katie, throughout, once you were diagnosed, you had an IEP in school, which helped you and the school set up your plans and goals. What would you say to teachers who may not fully understand the significance of an IEP and the accommodations that come along with that, like extended test time or a quieter place for studying?
Again, I'm just really feisty today, but learn. Learn it. Are you kidding me? No, I'm just kidding. So I'm not kidding, but I'm kind of kidding. I don't mean to be so feisty about it, but if you don't fully understand it, you need to learn about it. You need to talk to the other like special education teachers or something. Like, come on. It's literally your job. And in the book, I do share a story later on about a teacher not believing me that I
Yeah.
had a disability and how that's actually illegal.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
can get in trouble for that. So I just want to just, again, this is a simple question. I'm going to make it really simple answer. It's not a simple question, but I'm going to make it a simple answer. Learn about other types of learning because not
Yeah.
everyone learns the same. I hope here in 2025, as this is being recorded, more people are understanding this than 26 years ago when I was
Right.
diagnosed. But just because a student needs to leave the classroom to get extra time on tests or a quieter space to work, that's not that shouldn't be a problem for you.
Right.
That are you kidding me if it is?
Right.
So,
Well, and to validate what you said and what you went through with that teacher in school, once they understood why you got to leave the room for it and because of your disability, it went much better, didn't it? I mean, he understood that. He allowed that to happen.
well, he had to. It was literally like legally he had to,
Well,
but
yeah.
yes. And that's where again, like it was like, oh my gosh, didn't even know. Like, and that's a big one for people that have invisible disabilities.
Right.
Like it's like I had so many people, there's people today that don't believe I'm dyslexic.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like no way you're just like, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah.
So you're not up here in this head of mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Believe me, I am. And so, and that's understandable. I've gotten to this point where I'm like, I understand it. And I've actually had some people on the podcast talk about, I had a girl on that had hearing impairment and she wears hearing aids. And technically, that is an invisible disability, especially if
Right.
you have your hair down and they
Yeah.
don't see. And we talked about that and how sometimes with people it would frustrate them, but people also don't know what they don't know. So
Right.
if a teacher doesn't know, number one, they should, because that information is being given out to all the teachers. But if for some reason there's oversight, then listen to the child, listen to the student,
Yeah.
talk to them, reach out to the special education department, even if a student doesn't have an IEP yet, and they could still be struggling and get accommodations. They can. Having a conversation, not just diving down the road of, oh, you can't have that because no one else has it. Okay, settle down, Sally. Sit down and let's have a conversation
Right.
and let's
Right.
talk. Because at the end of the day, the goal of school is to educate people, and everyone learns differently. So let's just educate people and
Right.
allow people to learn the best way that they can.
Right. Right.
I'm done with that. Mic drop.
Okay.
Done.
Okay.
All right, Mom, this question's for you. I'm going to flip the script on you.
Okay. All right.
So, you mentioned being the squeaky wheel as a parent. Can you talk more about how parents can balance persistence when with maintaining positive relationships with educators? Because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
important.
That's a fine line. I think because being the squeaky wheel, sometimes people are like, oh, please just stop. Please, you're bothering me. I'm busy. I think when you become the squeaky wheel, you have to be respectful in doing it. I know many times I'd go to the teacher and say, I know you're so busy, but I need you to look into this, or I need you to do this to validate that, yes, I know I'm laying extra stuff on you or whatever that might be, but it's really important in Katie's education that we continue this or that or whatever. You can be respectful in being the squeaky wheel. And that's the key. It is just not, you're not doing it to negate someone. You're not doing it to make them feel bad. You're doing it for your child. So whatever you need to do to and then to maintain that relationship, you just do it respectfully. And
Mhm.
I'm sorry if this is a lot. Okay, I know you can't get it done this week, but is there a way we can maybe work on next week? Just be flexible, but be firm because it is the kinds of things that I would go to the school for were so important to your education. And the bottom line is that is your education. And I was going to make sure you got everything out of it that you could. So just be respectful, but be firm. Know what you need to go and be the squeaky wheel about. But do it kindly and understandingly that, yeah, this teacher's got a lot on there, or special ed teacher or whatever. They have a lot on their plate. How can we make this work? Or what can I do to help this happen?
Yes. And I'm just gonna final end this here. If there's a bad one, because there are
Yeah,
not great ones, like a bad apple of a teacher,
yeah,
because there
yeah.
can be, not many. There's like
Oh,
99.99999% of great teachers. All of them are great.
yeah,
Then there's always that one little dud. And so if you get a dud, raise it to someone else. Go to the principal,
yes,
then go to the superintendents. If you have to go to the school board, go
exactly.
to the school board. That's fine. But
And
after,
you can still be respectful in doing
yes,
that.
but after you exhausted that a couple other
Right,
things, of course. That's kind of where
right.
I was going. You can be
Yeah,
respectful, but again,
yeah.
getting that
If you need
your
to
needs
elevate that.
done. If they say I'm such a like advocate of like if someone says no, I'm like, okay, I'll figure out a different way to go around this. Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like no is not always the final answer.
Right,
And
right.
and it could just be no for right now or whatever that looks like. But just know that there, yes, there definitely can be
Oh,
some
sure.
bad apples. We had one.
Yeah,
We talk about it on the podcast actually.
yeah.
And yeah, it's not great and you don't want to be that person, but yes, you can definitely do it more respectfully. And what is that saying? You
Oh,
catch more
oh,
flies with
from
honey.
sugar, the honey, then yeah. I don't know. Be sweet, sweet,
Yeah, I probably
whatever.
shouldn't say it on this episode either. I don't remember what it is. If I figure it out,
Yeah.
I'll write it down here in the right in the video. Okay. Okay. So, anyways, thanks, Mom, for hopping on 8. Let's go dive over to 9. And
Nine, nine.
again, if you want more of this, all the links are in the description here and go check them out. Mom and I, again, put our heart and soul into a lot of this, and we're so excited to be able to bring extra content for free to you with the book Embracing Your Different Ability. So, thanks, Mom.
Ciao.
See ya.